Stacking picking patterns is hard to pronounce, could be even harder to play. Hey there, all UGers. Today's lesson is going to be in response to Nicole TA's request from the previous lesson, which was about things to play when you suck. And he asks, or she asks, for my old style lessons. And unfortunately I still suck a little too bad to play my old style lessons. But in order to suck a little less, I have practiced a whole bunch of different picking patterns recently. And I thought I was going to share those with you today. So today we're going to stack picking patterns. And first I'm going to show you 6 different patterns which you can practice, or which you must practice with a metronome in order to nail the whole run which we're going to attempt to play today. Also, this information should give you a good routine for, picking practicing. Because if you do those 6 patterns, you're going to have a whole arsenal of potential killer licks. Pattern number 1. You've probably seen this pentatonic pattern before. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we add a little speed and move it around. That sounds cool. And pattern number 2 is a descending triplet pattern. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pattern number 3 is a string skipping pattern, also played with triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Next pattern is also a triplet thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Next pattern is a kind of odd number pattern played with quintuplets. We're going to play like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our last pattern is a kind of Yngwie harmonic minor inspired thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So here's what we're going to play. We're going to start it all off with a kind of intro riff which establishes the B5 tonality. And that's always a good idea, to have a riff that establishes a tonality if you're going to play unaccompanied or a cappella. So what we're going to play is this kind of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Power chord, it's a B5 power chord with F sharp in the bottom. And then we're going to pull off the notes of the chord. So just grab the notes and pull them off. Like that. And then we're going to play a damp note. So we get. Now we're ready to start picking. So after the intro riff, I'm doing a glide, which you should know by now, and then I'm starting off with our first pentatonic pattern, which by now you should have practiced a lot. before attempting this. Okay, so we get... Notice how I'm ending on the high E string with 3 notes per string. 1, 2, 3, as opposed to all the other strings where I'm playing 2 notes per string. 1, 2. Okay. Now if we add the second pattern, which was this kind of descending thing. If we add our third pattern, which was a string skipping thing, we get this. Now if we add the fourth pattern, which was this kind of thing, now if we add our next quintuplet pattern, we get this. And if we add our last harmonic minor style pattern, we get. At the end, I'm adding an A5 chord going to a B5 chord. Okay, so that's it. Now remember to go through all the patterns with the metronome, spend a lot of serious practicing time on that, and then go over to putting them together in the run. I also want to point out that when I started out stacking speed patterns, it was very important for me to stack the patterns, you know, with them looping evenly, and you know, very obvious that first comes a triplet pattern, then comes a 16th note patterns. Now, I try to stray away from that now because I think it gives a very predictable sound to the speed picking runs. So what I'm doing today, or what I did today, what I showed you, was basically taking very logical patterns. I showed you how to play them with a metronome and how to count evenly and all that. Taking those patterns and putting them in a very uneven fashion. To me, that sounds a lot more interesting and unpredictable. Because I'm an unpredictable guy! Just kidding with you. Okay, see you soon. Cheers!